Drama Judas and the Black Messiah tells the true story of the life and death of Illinois Black Panther Party Chairman Fred Hampton. And while it may be a story familiar to many of us here in Chicago, for one man, it hits a little closer to home because Fred was his father. I spoke with Fred Hampton Jr. about the new film and his father's legacy more than 50 years after his death.
Black Panther Party was connected to the people, and that's the major ingredient. We talk about struggle. We distinguish heroes from revolutionary. Chairman Fred was a revolutionary. This is a representative of an organization that turned the communities into classrooms to really grasp what a revolutionary is. Chairman Fred was willing and subsequently paid the ultimate price to fight for self-determination. He was assassinated, so even in physical death, the legacy of Chairman Fred still lives.
On December 4th, 1969, Fred Hampton, the chairman of the Illinois Black Panther Party, was shot twice in the head during a raid orchestrated by the FBI and carried out by the Chicago Police Department. He was 21 years old. And now the story of his rise to prominence and his death are being chronicled in the buzzed-about new film, Judas and the Black Messiah.
Deputy Chairman Fred Hampton of the Illinois Black Panther Party.
The only people that don't want you to have any guns are people that intend to use guns on you.
What is the thing that you most love hearing about him from people who met him and who knew him?
His love for the people. His love for the people. And again, I don't want to sound cliches, but to a committed, charismatic, courageous representative that weighed the theory and practice, that just didn't talk about it.
Hampton's son, Fred Hampton Jr., never met his father. His mother was pregnant at the time Hampton was killed. But he's gone on to follow in his father's footsteps as the president and chairman of the Prisoners of Conscience Committee and the Black Panther Party Cubs. Now that you are chairman, what is it that you try to emulate today in that position that you learned from the stories of your father?
Fight on our own terms, that of self-determination. I can't say that enough. We say the Black Panther Party Cubs, in regards to the Black Panther Party, is a tough act to follow. However, we attempt to not walk in their footsteps, but their Panther Paul steps.
I pledge allegiance to my black people. I pledge to develop my mind and body to the greatest extent possible.
But for Hampton Jr., his father is more than just a character in a movie or a page in the history books. He was a man who changed the communities around him. You know, a lot of people are going to be introduced to who Fred Hampton was just by nature of watching this movie. But what is something outside of the 2 hours of this movie that you want to make sure that people know about who he was?
I don't know how much time we have, but can I minimize that this is an organization that doing the first free breakfast program, free busing programs, the prisons, free clothing programs, service to the people, and not in the way of charity, but for the people themselves to get involved in their struggle for self-determination. Many of the programs that Chairman Fred and Black Panther Party had, the people subsequently took these programs on. So if nothing else, the people need to recognize that we are our own liberators. And the Black Panther Party was connected to the people. And that's the major ingredient. We talk about struggle. We distinguish heroes from revolutionary. Chairman Fred was a revolutionary.